G'day guys, Jason here, and I'm stopping by for another 5-minute lesson. So today I want to talk about principal interest versus interest-only loans, and as a property investor, how does it work? What should I do, etc. Okay, so I need to talk to you guys about this in 3 stages because there's not one perfect answer, but there's a process or a structure I need to take you through. So I'm going to take you through in 3 stages, which is the acquisition stage for you as a property investor. The time that it takes for you to purchase the properties. The faster you do that, the better off you're going to be. I believe your acquisition stage should be fast and furious, as safe as possible, but don't hold anything back. Consolidation phase. You know, you've got your 5 or 6 properties. You might have a few more. You might have a few less. You hold them, you maintain them, you manage them, you renovate them, and you know this stage takes a little bit of time once you've acquired your properties. And the lifestyle phase, now you want to retire, now you want it to be passive income, or there's a transition between consolidation and lifestyle. What then? All right, so 3 stages, and I've done other videos about these 3 stages, so check them out. But let's talk about principal and interest versus interest only. And let's just kick off the conversation with this little bit at the bottom. If you had a $400,000 loan and you had it on an interest-only loan, and at the moment, you can get an interest-only loan at about 4.2%, okay? 4.2% for 400K is $1,400 a month. Now, principal and interest is and you can get a good interest rate at about 3.2, that would be $1,729 a month. So the difference is $329. So for me, as a property investor, certainly in the acquisition phase, always it will be, for me, interest only. So I would say in the acquisition phase, interest only for all of your investment properties, and interest only for your owner-occupier property too, if you can get that. And for most of us, we've got to make sure we hustle and ask for that, and it's a requirement. Now, people say, well, hang on, Jason, I want to pay my home off. Aren't you telling me that we should pay our debts off as quick as possible? Yes, the answer is absolutely you should. What happens is, with interest only, you can make extra payments. Let's say you have this spare $329 a month because you can afford to pay the $1,729. Where does that extra payment go? It goes in your offset account, okay? And that is sitting against your mortgage and obviously offsetting it and reducing the interest that you pay. You can always make extra payments. The money you need to do, instead of making money or paying off of the mortgage, you put it in your offset account. Why is that important in the acquisition stage for a property investor? If you say you build up a significant amount of money in your offset account, let's say $30,000, and you want to get that back, well, in an offset account, you just take it literally tomorrow, you go grab the money and you can go do whatever you want with it. If it's on the loan, if it's a principal and interest payment and you've paid off $30,000 worth of your mortgage, you have to ask the bank to get it back. You have to make an application, etc., etc. So in acquisition, that's inefficient. You don't need to do it. You shouldn't set it up that way. You should always run an offset account for your equity, for your extra payments. So put it on interest only. Make the extra payments if you can afford to, which builds up your deposit monies in your offset account, and they can be accessible anytime you need when you want to buy some properties. Obviously, we use our own home, or some cash to create our properties for investing or to buy our investment properties. So, interest only in acquisition stage, interest only for PPR, interest only for investments. Say we buy one investment and that is positive cash flow, all the extra cash flow goes into your offset account. We buy our second one, all the extra cash goes into our offset account. We buy our third one, all the extra cash, positive cash flow goes into your offset account. And you do that with the rent and the tax deductions and everything. It all goes into the offset account. So you build up all your cash. This is where your deposits are kept and come from, okay? So, and we buy our third and our fourth and our fifth, and they're all putting any extra positive cash flow into our offset account, which is pushing down our owner-occupier debt. And remember, owner-occupier debt, the debt you have on your home where you live, is not tax deductible. So acquisition, interest only for everything, okay? And if you're making extra payments, put it into your offset account. Now let's move into the consolidation phase. You've spent 3, 5, 6 years purchasing your properties. You've got a decent little property portfolio. You're really happy. You got your 5 properties, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's say by this stage, you have a significant amount sitting in your offset account over here, okay, in your own home. Now, this is what I say to a lot of people at this stage. Let's say all of these properties, these investment properties, have gone up in value. So let's say it's 7, 8, 10 years later. What I would do is I would encourage you as the investor to take equity out of these properties here, and I would smash that debt down. This is the consolidation phase. This is where you sort of increase the rents. This is where you do renos if you need to. This is where you debt reduce your owner-occupier property and pay it off. Pay it off. Get rid of it. Okay, no more debts there. Boom, done. Now you can do it in a little equity play, and away you go. This is the consolidation phase. Now, obviously, I'm speeding this up today. But again, in this phase, I would have everything still on interest only, everything on interest only. There is no need to do principal and interest lending. Remember, down here, if you wanted to get a principal and interest loan to equal the same amount of payments for an interest only loan, you would have to get a principal and interest loan at 1.6% to be $1,400 a month. That is ludicrous. It's not going to happen. So that's why interest only is better. You make the extra payments into your offset account. At some point when these properties go up, you just smash that debt down. You are now debt-free on your home, big tick, and you own 5 investment properties. Now, all of those properties there, interest only, in the transition from here to here, you start to pay these down. Any spare cash flow starts to pay down one and then starts to pay down the other, and so on. Depending on your rents, in the lifestyle phase, let's say your rents have gone up as well. You need to make sure you buy properties that the rents will rise over time. That's another thing that we've done. So you now are debt-free on your owner-occupier. I would leave the redraw facility in here, or not the redraw, the offset. I would leave the ability to get access to money in your home as a permanent facility. If you've got it, I would leave it there. Don't close it down, because as you get older, it's harder to borrow money. And now you've got your investment portfolio. Depending on the cash flow and the time in here, this time frame that you want, this might already get you back, 3 days a week. Now, if you want the 4th and the 5th day back, what you might do is, let's say you might sell one and then pay the rest off, and a big tick for positive cash flow at the end. But my preference is not to sell, or ever to sell, because taxes and all that sort of stuff. But hopefully, that's a pretty messy squiggle. Hopefully you followed along. I say absolutely 100% no to P&I. It makes no sense whatsoever. You can always make extra payments. You can always pay your home off. Interest only is tax deductible in here. Principal is not. I would stick with interest only as a default for a property investor. Anyway, there's my tips for principal interest only. If you want to know more of how to make sure that this is set up properly for you and your property investing, come along to one of our property nights, property investor nights, meet our coaches around the country. We do them everywhere. Anyway, hopefully that was a good lesson, and chat soon. Bye for now.